bringing the people behind our food to life.
Today we're going to learn about canning sardines. But before we do that, I wanted Marjorie to go over the basics of pressure canning because that's the safety issue involved here and a very important piece. So Marjorie, what do we need to know?
Well, we need to know about a pressure canner because anything that's low acid, which would include vegetables, poultry, meat, fish, needs to be canned where you can get the temperature up to 240 degrees, and you cannot do that in a boiling water canner. You have to have a pressure canner. And this is a sample. There are many different varieties. This one has a dial gauge canner, and it has a pressure regulator like this. And inside there is a gasket. And this is something that you can replace. If it gets old and cracked, you want to replace that. But it fits snugly right in there. If you're canning a lot every year, sometimes things can get clogged, and you never want to have this little ventilator pipe clogged. So just kind of look through it. If you can see the sky, you're good to go. Now the other parts of the canner, this is when the pressure comes up, this will pop up. And when you're all finished and the pressure is going down gradually, this will pop down. This is the overpressure plug. Many people are afraid of pressure canning because they've heard these stories about canners exploding. This will pop up right out of the canner should something go wrong and the pressure builds up too high.
Make sure to have your pressure gauge tested at the beginning of your canning season. It's free. You can take it to your local extension office and they'll make sure that your pounds of pressure are accurately registering on your dial gauge. That's an important thing to do before you start pressure canning.
Then the other part of the essential part of the canner is to be sure you have a rack. Now if you buy a used one and there isn't a rack in it, any rack that'll just fit the bottom of the canner, sometimes small cookie racks, but you don't want those glass jars to be directly in the bottom of the canner because they'll break and you lose your product.